Hey guys, today we're going to learn how to find a substring in a string using Python. So let's open up a couple terminals here. I'm going to create our script in this terminal just to demo the process. Real simple, quick Python, little quick Python thing here that we'll cover today. Nothing too elaborate. This is a little bit more elaborate than my other simple ones, but it's still a super simple, quick little tutorial. So anyways, we're going to create a script rather than run directly from the interpreter. It's elaborate enough to, I think, warrant a script. We have, like some logic, if-else statements to cover. So, any case, let's copy this, and we're just going to paste it right over here. And you'll see that we have string one. This variable holds our string. It's this big long string. It says, hey, this is my big string with words like octopus, zebra, and sardine. So say if we want to extract the word octopus, right? So we're going to say string, and now there's a string method called find. So we can say string.find, and we just put the substring we're looking for. So we just put the word octopus if we want to find the word octopus, and then we can save the result to the variable x, and then we're going to print out x. So I'm going to add an extra space in here just to make this, we should actually have no spaces there. Now let's write this out. So there we go, we've saved the file. Now let's just run this just to see. I got to be in let's see, what directory is this in even? This is in the test2 directory, right? So I'm going to jump into test2, and there's our script right there. So let's run Python against test. So there's our script. Let's run it, and the result is 38. So this gives us the index in the script where we found that substring. So we can, one, confirm that the substring exists, and two, we can print out the index of where it is. Now let's say if we were to delete the word octopus and save it, and let's try running this again. So it's going to give us a -1. That indicates that it was not found at all. So -1 didn't find the string. A positive number is going to tell us that it found the string, and it's going to tell us where in the, where in the string that we found the substring. So there you go. That's pretty much, if you want to test. All right. So our next example is to test whether or not it was found. So let's copy this and just expand our script a little bit. All right, so expand this, paste this down here. So we say if string.find octopus, print found, else print nothing. All right, so we can remove this and this. We don't need those anymore. So we actually, now notice how before string1.find octopus returns a negative number. We actually need it to return a 0 if we want it to not be found, if we wanted to just use the return value. But we can't just use the return value in this if statement. So we got to make this a little bit more elaborate. So we can say equals negative equals, we can just say above -1. So this should give us what we want here. So we can say, let's run this, and it says found because octopus is in there, right? Now let's jump up here and let's just remove the word octopus and save it again. Now let's run this. Nothing. It tells us nothing. So when there is no word octopus, it gives us nothing. If the word octopus is present, like this, octopus. Now let's run this again. There we did I save this? And I did not spell it right. Octopus. Okay. And there we go, found. Once we have the word octopus in there, it's found. So notice what we're doing here. We're expecting if it's not found, it's going to be a -1. But if it's anything above a -1, we know it's telling us the index where it did find it. So anything above a -1, even if it's a 0, would mean that it's found. If it's a 0, it's at index 0, like right here at the beginning. Anything above a 0 means it's found. Sorry, anything above a -1 is found. And anything else, meaning a -1 or below, means it's not found. And that's probably just going to be a -1. So that's how you could use some logic. Now you could also specify a starting index to search from. Let's see here. Let's give that a shot. Let's just remove this logic here. We'll come back and look at that later. All right. So next thing to show you is specifying a starting index. Probably this is not something you're going to use, but you might. Now, all right, we're going to find the word is. Now, starting index 5. Let's write this out. Now, let's just run the script, and it says 5. So it found it at 5. All right, so this is starting index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it found it at starting index 5. So it found this word is. Now notice there's an is in the word this that occurs before that, but it skipped over it because it's only starting at index 5, right? So say if you were to remove this number 5 that we specify here, save the file, and run it again. Now we find it gives us the index. You know, the two letters is are found right here, starting here earlier on in the string. It tells us, you know, index number 2. So you have 0, 1, 2, and that's the index it found the substring at, right? Now, you could set it to something higher if you wanted, right? You could set it to, let's say, 10, right? Now I think it's not going to find it unless there's something I'm not spotting in there. Let's give it a shot. -1, that means it didn't find it. So even though the letter combination is, this substring, is found twice in the string, we're not going to look for it unless it's at least index 10 or higher. And it didn't find anything higher than index 10, so it just returns a -1 saying, hey, we didn't find anything. So there you go. Now let's say if we want to modify this and just put the word is up here. Is. Right? Now, write that out, and let's run it again, and there we go. Index 53, it found is. So there you go. I think we're kind of, kind of drilling in this idea a lot, and probably don't need to review this in this much detail, but whatever. Let's try. All right, you could also specify an ending index. So this is actually going to be kind of interesting. So let's just specify 25. All right, 25 is the ending index, right? Now, it's only going to search for that substring between 10 and 25. So while we have 2 of them at the beginning of the string here and 1 near the end. Neither of those is between 10 and 25. Notice that later one is at index 53, right? That's the one we just detected before. We found that substring. So let's write this out. Okay, so saved our script. Now let's try running it again. -1, it means it didn't find it. Even though we have this substring is here and at the end, we still didn't find it, right? Now, let's just demonstrate how you could change that. Let's put it in right here. Is. Now let's run the script again. And is that later than 25? It is, isn't it? What is this? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, that looks like I failed to put it in between 10 and 25. Let's stick it right here. Is. This should work. All right, let's run it again. There we go. Index 22, it found it. All right, so there we go. 22 is between 10 and 25. So it detects the substring and prints out the index where it was found, which is 22, which makes perfect sense. All right, so that's pretty much, we've covered this substring function pretty well. That's probably more than you need to know or even want to know. It doesn't hurt to know about that extra functionality. Now let's talk about regexes. So with regexes, it's going to be a bit different. Let's just wipe out this whole script and start fresh. So we're going to insert a value. We have this little demo script up here. I'm going to copy this and paste it right down here. All right, so same string. Oh yeah, and one thing you're going to need for regexes, you're going to have to import RE. Import RE. Make sure you're importing the regex library, right? Now you have this same string, and we're going to search for the word octopus. Instead of using, this function that we used up here, instead of using the find function, which is a string method, it's a function of the string of strings, right? So instead of using that, we're going to use the search method from the regex library. So we're going to use, and regexes are a whole lot nicer and more flexible. So we're going to search for the substring octopus, and we're going to group it together like this, and we're going to search for it in string 1. So we specify string 1 here, string 1 here. This is the string we're going to search. We're going to search for the word octopus, right? Now we could compile a regex. That's a little bit more elaborate, and I'm not going to go over that in this video. Probably not. Did I have an example? Yeah, I didn't have an example of that. All right, so now you're going to search for that substring. Now it says if m, print m groups. It's going to print out what it found, right? So basically, when you do a search using regexes, it saves it in this object here that basically has your search results. Now you say if m. Now if it actually found anything, that's going to be true. If it found nothing, it's going to be false. So if it did find something, it's going to print out what it found. So it's going to say take m, our search result object, and you basically call groups. It's going to take all the groups that it was able to extract from that string running the regex, and we specify the first group that it found. So this first group is that first thing in parentheses here. It's going to take this, and yeah. So this is the first group, anyways, and it's just going to print out that first one. All right, so pretty basic functionality here. I'm going to save this and just show you how it works. So there we go. It just prints out the word octopus. Octopus right there. So there we go. Now, let's say if we go like this, make a nested group like this. Now, in a regex, these aren't, these are a special character. They're used for grouping. Otherwise, you'd have to escape them. So, let's print out. Let's just see how this behaves like this. So there we go. So this is going to print out, all of the groups, and it gave us octopus. So it's returning it as a tuple of all the groups found. So first we found octopus, and then we found octo. So so first thing we're searching for is the whole word octopus. And then the next group we're searching for is octo. Now, if we want to search for more things, we could search for, say, zebra. Search for, not zebra, let's search for the word and. Now, we can put and, whoops. We can put and we're going to put it in a group here, the word and. Now, this is going to fail, but let's give it a shot anyways. So now we got nothing. It found no results. That's because this whole regex we're finding, it wasn't able to match it at all, matching anything at all. So it's just returning false when it says if m. It didn't find this string because it's not actually matching anything. And that's because we didn't account for any letters. This is actually searching for the word octopus followed directly by the word and with no spaces even. So we're going to insert a wildcard, which is a period, and then we're going to put an asterisk to say any number of characters. And actually, we want to, we'll put a plus sign here. It's any positive number, so it's not going to find it if the word and was directly after it. You're expecting something to be between the word octopus and the word and. So between those two substrings, we're going to expect to find basically a positive number of any character at all. Could be spaces, numbers, letters, whatever, but the period specifies any character at all, and the plus specifies at least one, if not more. Now, we don't want this to match. Normally, it's going to use greedy matching by default. So if the word and were later on in the script, it would find the word, it would match further on and grab everything in between it. Now, we only have one word and in this script, so it doesn't make a huge difference anyways. So, but, just to demonstrate this, we're going to put a question mark to do stingy matching. So this is going to match the word octopus and the closest word and. So it's going to match this substring right here. Now, if we were to put, like, say, another substring at the end here, if we put and over here, it's still going to match this octopus and this word and this, dot plus is going to refer to, now that we have the question mark, the dot plus will refer to all of these characters. Now, if we didn't have this question mark, the dot plus will actually refer to all of these characters, including this and. It's not going to stop when it reaches the first and. It's going to continue on until it reaches the last and that it finds. That's called greedy matching as opposed to stingy matching, which is what we kind of want in this case. It's getting off on kind of a tangent there, probably a whole lot more than you were looking to learn if you're just looking to find substrings in a string. So let's see here. So we've modified our regex. Let's see if this works. So there we go. We found the word octopus, octo, and. So 3 substrings we were able to find. So we're grouping on octopus, octo, and. So it's finding those 3 substrings. Now let's try. Honestly, if we with this same grouping, if we were to remove the question mark, it's going to find that second and we wouldn't even know the difference because we won't know that it's, the whole regex matches the stuff in between. Let's see here. Now, I'm getting a little bit off topic, but let's just try this. All right, so let's see, octo. All right, that's fine. All right. Anyways, let's just move along. You can also regex find multiple substrings. Yeah. All right. Let's just wipe this whole thing. I want to cover the rest of the stuff I had here that I wanted to cover today. So I don't want to get too far off topic. We can really get into details on regexes on another day. And you could write you could cover so much on regexes. So the last thing I wanted to really cover was doing this. All right, so paste this in here. All right, so we have a brand new string. There's a rock on the rocky mountain, but there has been no rock slide. Okay, so now we want to find all. We're going to use here. We're still using regexes the same way. I should actually remember to import re for regexes. Now we're using a different function, right? So before we were using search. Now we're going to be using find all. So we're going to be finding all matches, and we're going to be grouping. We're going to be grouping rock and /w any number of rocks. So any number of white space after rock. Okay, so let's see here, and searching in string 2. So almost the same thing. This will help us find multiple substrings inside a string, right? So we're expecting it to return rock, rocky, and rock slide. All right, so we put a lowercase w /lowercase w. This should match any alphanumeric. So that was not for white space. I believe the S is for white space. So W would be like actual letters, so it's gonna find any word rock that has extra letters that are not a white space. So it should match rock up to stopping at the white space. it should match rocky, stopping at the white space, and rock slide. So, but it'll stop at the white space, or the not just at white space, but the non-alphanumeric, the non-alphanumeric character. So with a W, this is going to find any number of those letters, and it's going to stop at the period. It's not going to include the period. So let's just give this a shot. All right, let's run this script, and there we go. It finds them all, saves them in this variable m, and we can just print it right out, and it gives us all these substrings. So here we found all the substrings that match this value, print them out. We have rock, rocky, and rock slide. So that's all fine and great. Now let's say if we wanted to just remove this, right, and only look for the word rock, we can do that too. So this is going to find multiple substrings that match rock. So let's run it. Now we have rock, rock, rock. There are 3 substrings that match it. Here, here, and here. It's just not including the rest of the word, which is what we just told it to do. What else should we look for? Let's try to find OC. Let's see. Now we're searching for multiple substrings, but let's try multiple groups with multiple substrings. And here we go. So it's found multiple instances of it's found this group and this group. This is how you can find multiple groups and multiple substrings. So it gets a little bit more elaborate. You can find more things. So that's kind of interesting. I'd actually like to set this back to let's see. And let's see what our results are if we run this. All right, so here it's searching and finding multiple matches, and for each match that it finds, it's finding multiple groups. So the first match, it was just the word rock, but it finds multiple groups. It finds rock and OC within rock. So rock and OC. Now the second one finds rocky and OC within that, and so on and so forth. So you get the idea. You can search for multiple groups and multiple multiple substrings. So this is going to give you a list of tuples. So this would be a tuple, and this whole thing would be a list, which is your results. And notice before it was just giving us a tuple. This was back when we were using search. Using find, it gives us a list by default. So anyways, hopefully someone finds this useful. Hopefully this is helpful to someone. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. You might want to give me a thumbs up. You might want to hit the subscribe button. Click the little bell icon so you get an alert when we come out with a new video, because we have a lot of great things coming up. We do have more videos like this coming up. We're going to be doing a lot of simple Python lessons, but we're also going to be doing more elaborate things, showing you how to work with setting up services and doing like multi-threading and things like that, network programming and so on and so forth. But we also have a lot of other content. We're working with servers, Linux, all different operating systems. Coding, servers, electronics, networking, Raspberry Pis, 3D printing, just a lot of great tech stuff. If you want that in your feed, you might want to make sure you hit that subscribe button. But also, even more importantly, just leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, criticisms, comments, anything you want to say, I probably do want to hear it. Also, if you know something I don't know, definitely make sure to point it out in the comments down below. I do want to know what you guys have spotted, or if someone sees something I don't. Maybe you thought of something I didn't think of. Just let me know down below in the comments. And that's about it for today. So as always, thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next time.